you on. So John is the keynote speaker for tonight. John Alexander is, as I said before, is a member of Lankan, a very good friend of ours. Always available, a very accessible person. And one thing, just to touch base, I don't know whether John was going to say that, but I thought I would say this because John told me, I think, or Vivian told me, I can't remember, that when John's partner Vivian's father was in the deathbed, John asked him what was the best period of your life. And Vivian's father was the Chanaka Bandarage, Australian High Commission in Sri Lanka in the 60s and 70s. And Vivian's father said to John, "Was my time in Ceylon?" So that says a lot. That says a lot. He said the best time in his life was the time he spent in Sri Lanka. So we should take it as a compliment. John Alexander.
Chanaka, thank you so much, and thank you for everybody who's done so much to make tonight's event. It really is a lovely meeting, and so thank to you too. Yujith, Hian, Kamal, Anil and Sanal, Andula, Khalida, Sarani, Dudley, Nimal, Lal, Sharantha, and everybody else who has helped. And to my colleagues, to our candidates for walking those brave steps, and I look forward to welcoming you as a colleague. And I can tell you, you have got two of the best friends you're ever going to have in this room, in Greg Smith and Philip Ruddock. They have been helping you, I know. They helped me enormously, and as recently as last night, Philip continued his help. Now, I'd like to tell you a little bit about my previous profession before I go any further, just to explain things. In the structure of tennis in the world circuit, there are major events and there are other professional events, and to get into a professional event, you must go through the qualifying rounds. So we have people who are known as qualifiers. There is main draw players who are in the first round. There are some players who excel and they win tournaments and now make a lot of money. There are some who win Grand Slams and in fact even win the Grand Slam. That's all 4 events in 1 year. And then as
You're right, Mr. Bandarage, my beautiful wife Susie. I got her at a moment of weakness. She's very short-sighted, and she does me the favour of leaving her glasses in her purse so no one knows that. And lastly, but definitely not least, to John Alexander, the member for Bennelong. Thank you, John, for whatever part you played in this. I'm sure you were in it up to your eyeballs knowing you. And I am running for the federal seat of Reid, and the life of the candidate is tough. But the life of the candidate is always made a lot easier when you receive a phone call like I received, how long ago, Richard? 4 or 5 months ago? Yeah. I received a phone call, did not know the number, answered it, which candidates normally shouldn't do in case it's media. And
Second World War, when the communist Sri Lankans were having trouble with the British colonials, these guys fled to India for refuge. India is just 30 miles away, 30 kilometers away. Not even 30 miles, 30 kilometers away. And it's very safe seas. Just the food for thought is, why should anybody coming 5,000 kilometers?
Thank you, Chanaka. And ladies and gentlemen, all distinguished guests, my good friends.
Muslim and matches. They were political living groups those days. Thank you very much for that service. Now, I want to tell you that again we have changed the program. So what we are going is that we are having a small dance now, 5 minutes, and then Honorable Philip Ruddock will come and address, and then we'll have the dinner break. So now I invite dance group, Sydney's community dance group, Kasara, Herat, Vinu Jayasingha, Harini Jayasingha, Subhadya Ambasekara. They are going to do a combination of a low country and a up country dance. Available for them. Thank you very much for it.
Well, Chanaka, thank you very much for your generous introduction. Can I say how delighted I am to be here tonight, but particularly with John Alexander. You might ask how much I have to pay him for an introduction like that. But he is, I must say, a great friend, and he has been a worthy member for Bennelong. And the way in which he has engaged with the communities, in my view, makes him a very, very special member of the Australian Parliament. And I'm proud to regard him as a friend. Can I say also that I'm delighted to be here with my colleague, Greg Smith, the Attorney General of New South Wales. But can I add, I am delighted tonight that you have had the opportunity of seeing in Martin and Craig and Kent candidates of enormous potential and of great calibre who will make a significant contribution to the future of this country. For me, I wanted tonight to canvass the issues that Namal raised and to do so very directly, and I will. But might I say, my first visit to Sri Lanka was in 1982. It was before the community difficulties arose, but I could see at the time that there were issues that needed to be addressed. And I've said, very frankly, over a period of time, that it is important here in Australia that we respect the rule of law. The rule of law is fundamental to a society. It's important that a society is democratic and that people are able to participate openly and positively in government. And I would say that the important issue to be addressed in Sri Lanka has been that there are differences. There have to be those values that bring us together, but one also has to accommodate those differences. And I know it has been hard, particularly when people resort to force to try and pursue their objectives. Very hard. I think we are at a very unique time now in Sri Lanka. A time of reconciliation. A time where there has been a military victory, but there needs to be magnanimity in order to be able to move forward. I have met with ministers, and I met with the Foreign Minister recently from Sri Lanka when he was here in Australia. And we talked about the reconciliation process. And I was very encouraged to hear that is there. but it's going to be important to work it through in a way which enables a society that does have differences to be able to come together. And I hope that Australia can play a part in helping to achieve that. And that needed to grow the economy in order to provide jobs for young Australians and opportunities for all Australians to be able to improve their circumstances. I am very alarmed when people come into office and spend like crazy, who fritter away part of John Howard's economic legacy because we had money in the bank and that's all gone. And we now have a debt 4 times larger than Paul Keating left John Howard. That's where we are. And I tell you, if there is a new international crisis, we've got nothing in the bank to be able to deal with it. Look, economics is really quite simple. My late father was an economist. He had a degree, a Master of Economics at a time when very few people had those degrees. And he used to say that the Liberal Party are specialists. We are specialists in baking a bigger cake. And the only speciality that the Labor Party has is in how you cut it up. Now I tell you, we want to be in office in order to grow the cake again. We have a program. It's called Real Solutions. And if you would like to get hold of a copy of it, you can look at the very positive measures that we want to implement. Thank you very much.